Right?
Well, 5 in the morning. Well, because Mark pulled me out. He was like, "Hey, let's go." I would have crashed, right? But he's like, Mark's on his own schedule. But as soon as we got to Nancy's, he had a torta, and then he was asleep. So I was like, I just tried to just stay busy while I was out there.
Gotcha.
That's just what I'm trying to do. Anyway, thank you for calling me too.
Yeah. Just wanted to catch up and see, what's going on. You reached out, and I know you guys were out there staying at the scene. I didn't know you guys stayed out all night.
Oh, my apologies for cutting you off.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you've ever heard of.
I put on the
Sorry, I had to drink some water.
hotspot.
Have you ever heard of All Eyes on Delphi? She's on
Crazy or what?
YouTube.
No.
I might change our life.
The reason I'm bringing this up, she's already made an entire chart that she updates. She's probably the best data collector in the YouTube true crime community. I promise you. So she's already made an entire chart of all the crimes that happen in there. Everything. She updates it daily. So I'm gonna. She's willing for me to share it too. So that way, if you wanted to see it, it really pinpoints a lot of stuff.
So people are put on maps and timelines.
All that, man. She's amazing. She'll blow your mind, bro. I promise.
Hello.
All right, Alex.
I got the link already, so I'll send it to you through your phone. How's that?
Sure. You be safe today. Are you headed out today at all?
Well, because I might have to work today, I believe.
What do you do for a living? I never even asked.
Well, I just started this job, but I'm washing dishes at a restaurant. So
nice.
Cool. Yeah, it's like a Caribbean show,
nice
chicken, wings.
Wings? They get good food there?
The what?
You eat good food there?
Yeah, real good food.
No, I'm saying, do you eat good food there?
Oh, well, now the boss is pretty tough, stringent, which is good, though, because I'm trying to lose weight. That's why I've been doing a lot of walking. But she's and I get it. She's, she's an awesome boss. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But she's, she's demanding. So, But hey, the boss is the boss is the boss, right?
Yeah. Thank you for what you're doing, and we'll talk soon and keep you informed of what's going on, and hopefully we get some answers today.
Let's get some good news.
All right. Sounds good.
Talk to you soon, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alex out there all night, and then also going to work. All right, I'm going to put my email in the chat. If anyone wants to chat, as we yeah, I put overnight. Let me see. Dude, there was this is crazy case, man. There was actually a missing 77-year-old that vanished right near Nancy's home in 2024. I can't find a picture of him, though. And his name is Thomas Reuter, Reuter. And I put this out there, and there was an article. So this happened, skeletal remains located on Tucson's north side, identified as a 77-year-old man. And there was this man named Thomas Reuter who was found dead in October of 2025 in the desert area near Nancy's home. It was only a few miles away, but he was missing for a year prior. And as of that news report, the case is still under investigation. They don't even know what happened. They don't know what happened. Now, is there some sort of somebody out there maybe preying on any of these connected anywhere? We talk about somebody maybe that might be targeting elderly people. There was another one in 2023. Another 70-something-year-old man was found up in that area. Let me find that name. Let me see. It's crazy. 77-year-old missing or dead, found, Pima County. There was another one I saw, another one. Let's see. Where's the other one? He actually has an image, but the other one doesn't have an image. I'll have to look, but I saw two other elderly people that were found near Nancy Guthrie's home. Two elderly people. Like the badge? Nice. All right. So, that being said, we're going to put email. We're going to email, we're going to talk, or have a conversation. Email. Nancy Guthrie discussion. All right. It's pinned. Who wants to talk? Did I put the right address? Yes. Go to the locations where the body was found, Laura's musing says 1865. The 77-year-old man was found. Let me get this address here. 5100 block of North Swan Road. So here's the story about the 77-year-old man. Well, by the way, there's no picture of him. Skeletal remains located on Tucson's north side, identified as a 77-year-old man. This article was from November 10th, 2025. It says the Pima County Sheriff's Department has announced that skeletal remains located on the north side of Tucson has been identified. It goes on to say, on October 29, skeletal remains were discovered in the desert area near the 5100 block of North Swan Road. Deputies confirmed the remains as human, and the homicide unit is now leading the investigation. The Pima County Office of the Medical Examiner identified the remains of 77-year-old Thomas Reuter. His next of kin has been notified. The circumstances surrounding Reuter's death are still under investigation. The Pima County Sheriff's Office has not released further details. Anyone with information could aid this investigation is urged to contact Pima County Sheriff's Department or submit a tip through 88 Crime Stoppers. So the way they're saying it is as if this is some sort of homicide. Excuse me. Homicide investigation. Now, I put that address in. I'm going to show you how far it is from Nancy's home. They say the 5100 block of North Swan Road. I'm going to put that in. And then I'm going to put Nancy Guthrie's address and just show you. It's not that far, but it's, it's up there. But do we have a that's Nancy. This is where this 77-year-old was found. Do we have somebody up there in the Catalina foothills doing something? They're saying the homicide unit is investigating, and anyone with information, contact 88 Crime Stoppers. So Nancy's on the left. The red dot is where this 77-year-old man named Thomas Reuter was found. I'm just saying. I don't know. All up there in the Catalina foothills. What happened to 77-year-old Thomas Reuter? The 5100 block would be an entire block, so I wouldn't even know the actual location. Not far at all from Nancy, but up in the Catalina foothills. Now, there was another 77-year-old, I believe. I think it was 2023. But let me look. There was another man. Let me see if I can find it. This might be it. This was another one too, and I found this one here from 2023. This guy right here. And here's another 77-year-old man from the area. 77-year-old man, missing man found dead. And this was in June of 2023. The Pima County deputies investigated reports of a missing person who has health issues. Now, this could be somebody that more of a, like somebody that just wanders off. But it is interesting. On June 10, around 4:29 p.m., deputies were called to the 14,000 block of East Speedway Boulevard. The missing person identified as 77-year-old Patrick Ellis, who left on the area around 1:30 on foot. Deputies warned Ellis had health concerns and did not take his cell phone with him. Deputies immediately began to search the area for Ellis. The Pima County Sheriff's Department air unit and search and rescue were utilized during the search. They found him dead at 6:29 in a remote area.
Wow.
But they say here there's no signs of trauma or foul play, but his death is still being investigated. So 2 77-year-old people in the last 3 years have been, in that area found. One, which is still under investigation, the homicide unit. This one, I don't know if it's, but he was found. Now, let me put in the address to this guy here and just see how far it is from Nancy Guthrie's home. They say the 14,300 block of East Speedway. And we'll put that in right here in Tucson and see how far it is. See, this stuff is like, but this one's way out there. Let me see. I'm just going to put Nancy's home. See, this one's really, really far. It looks like it's a 40-minute drive. So I doubt that one is anything of anything. Probably somebody that just wandered off. I mean, it's quite a few distance. So I don't know. But, the question is there, some people presented in this channel, do we have someone that is a serial killer that is preying on elderly people in the Tucson area? Somebody praying. Somebody said just reaching, not related. Well, we never said anything was related of anything. But I do think the one that was found last year, Thomas Reuter, is interesting. What's the circumstances of how he went missing? Because there's lack of information. This other guy, I don't know. Now, has there been any other missing elderly people in the Tucson area? People said there were other ones, but those are two that just popped up to me that I saw. How many people are missing from the Catalina foothills? All right, so let's look. Let's take some calls here and see if anyone has anything to say. I want to talk. Just say I want to talk. Local grandmother. Roma is a local grandmother. Says she wants to talk. A local grandmother. Barbara. All right, local grandmother Barbara. I'm going to put you in the chat here. A local grandmother. You're going to get a number from 202, local grandmother.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Barbara, local grandmother.
I am a local grandmother. How are you, JLR?
I'm great. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, so I have a theory that nobody's talking about because Nancy is so old.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks it has to do with Savannah, right? But I have to tell you, since I've gotten older and I have white hair and I look like a grandma, there are a lot of men who are really horny.
Whoa.
I don't know of another word. But I'm just saying, I think people need to look at sex offenders who like older ladies.
I mean, there is a lot of registered SOs in those Catalina foothills we've discussed. There's quite a few that actually live near Nancy.
I mean, are there any that specifically have gone after like older women?
I mean, anything's on the table. I get what you're saying.
I mean, they're everywhere, and like young guys, and I'll tell them, no, leave me alone. I'm a grandma, and they're just really interested. I don't know why. And people think, oh, nobody would want to do that with an old lady, but they would.
And you're dead serious when you say this, correct? You're not playing, right? Like
no,
you're not...
I'm absolutely serious. And I mean, I'm not as old as Nancy, but I can tell you, since my hair's gone white and since I've become a grandmother and I'm getting older, the men are, people don't think that men would be attracted to like an old woman, but they are. And it's always creepy ones, like weird sick ones, because that's unnatural. and it's just gross. And then I also wanted to talk to you about the tunnels.
Okay.
So I've lived in Phoenix for a long time, and I've been to Tucson, and even in Vegas. I've actually been down to the tunnels, like far in the tunnels. And I want you to know that there's no chance she was down there, because there are people that live down there, like hundreds of people. They build weird houses down there and stuff. And any one of those people would have turned it in for the original $2,500. There's no way she was anywhere down there and nobody tried to collect the money.
Yeah, there is tunnels around Nancy's home, particularly on First Avenue, and then the tunnels that go under the washes, like washes that from the Catalina foothills from her neighborhood that end up going in the river there.
Yeah, but people don't realize, unless you go deep in, that there's a lot of people that live in there. It's not as isolated as you think. And any one of those people would have turned it in for the $2,500.
I concur with you on that. Nobody's just going to keep a body in there and somebody overlook it. If they see a body, somebody homeless or in there, or someone else is going to turn that in, even for $2,500 when it was originally that reward.
Yeah, they would have done it for $20. So
unless she was channeled through, people speculate, oh, well, Nancy was taken out of the house. Some people say by, a roll cart. Some people say golf cart. Maybe it's by somebody trekking and taking her down through the washes, down, and then end up down by the river. But, we still don't know about vehicle. It's most likely she was taken in a vehicle that we don't know about at this time.
Well, I hope they bring her home. And I really think that everyone think it has to do with their daughter, and people are underestimating that there are a lot of men who will be just sexually attracted to poor Nancy herself. And they need to look at all the perverts. They need to look at all the sex offenders, and they need to go more that angle. And you know why I think it too? Because if it was like a criminal, he would have told people what he did, right? People tell people.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's someone who raped the old lady, no one's going to tell anyone they did that. It would be ashamed. There's a reason no one's talking about what they did. And I just feel like this is sexual nature, and it has nothing to do with Savannah. I think it's about poor Nancy.
Well, I appreciate your comments and your speculation. Thanks for calling, Barbara, and you be safe out there.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Tell those Karens out there, be nice to her. I'll come get them myself.
All right. Thank you. You take care.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right. Be nice out there, or Barbara will come and get you. Let M31N. I think it may be a stalker of Savannah that took Nancy and may have her body with them. That would explain why they haven't recovered her body. A stalker of Savannah. Parasocial. I learned that word yesterday by Dr. Q. Parasocial, a stalker of Savannah. But yeah, here are some of the people's theories and speculations. Quite a few. Few. All right, Chrissy, this is from yesterday, right? Chrissy says, I would like to talk about Derek and why I think Tommaso isn't really cleared. It's a theory no one really talked about. And you reached out, Chrissy, from yesterday, and I said I was going to get you today, and I'm going to get you right now. So Chrissy's going to come up. He's going to talk about the guy that called Tommaso and Annie with the Bitcoin. Derek Kalela, who we talked to, the guy in the band from Los Angeles area. Chrissy has something to say about that.
Disney.
You're up. Welcome aboard, Chrissy. Thanks for reaching back, too. (202)
Hello, sir.
Hello, Chrissy. Good morning.
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. And you reached out yesterday. Remember, I couldn't find your email, and I said, hey, shoot me back, and I'll get you.
Yeah, that was my fault because I was sending it just to JLR. I didn't realize that it had the tips.jlr in the email, so that was my fault.
Oh,
I was sending it to the wrong one.
Thanks for reaching out. So you got something to say about Derek and Tommaso, and in theory why Tommaso's not really cleared?
So here's my theory, okay? So for one, before I get to Derek, I do want to say I'm not in law enforcement, but I do have a few friends that are.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times they will clear someone even if they are not cleared. I have a friend of mine who's a detective who actually told me the other day, he was like, look, I had to shake a dad's hand that we knew was abusing his daughter and apologize to him for blaming him because we didn't have the evidence that nailed on the coffin to, you know, send him to jail. But once they did, they was able to go back to get him and send him. Sometimes they just need people to feel comfortable. But the thing about the Derek situation, that the thing that bothers me about that is, why is it that, okay, so he sent the Bitcoin request or whatever, the ransom request. And the thing that bothers me about that is, if you are saying you did that as a hoax, why would you, and this is not speculation, it's in the court documents, why would you send a text to Annie and Tommaso asking them if they received the Bitcoin yet and you're waiting on your end for the transaction? If you know that they didn't have anything to do with it and what you're doing is a hoax, why would you send that to them?
You're kind of right there. I get what you're saying. I mean, and I think some people in the chat are too. I get what you're saying here. Like, he wanted his cut.
I don't know, but it's just odd to me, because if it was me that is sending something that, you know, if I didn't have anything to do with it and I'm sending out a hoax email trying to benefit off of the tragedy, I wouldn't send it to the family when they're the ones that's supposed to be sending the Bitcoin, asking them, did they get it yet? And that I'm waiting for the transaction. Something about that is just,
I can't find that spot. Yes, from yesterday,
another
Susie.
thing too, of course, like you said earlier, he was in a band too. There's plenty of him and Tommaso could have crossed paths. Another thing that doesn't sit right with me is, I feel like the timeline maybe is not right.
Okay.
And it takes me back to that 911 call. Now, I didn't hear the actual call, but I have full trust in Nancy Grace. And Nancy Grace, she put the dispatcher call up on her channel. And at 2:01 a.m., a lady called in about a woman screaming, hands out the windows, and the car had no license plate. And that kind of sits with me too, because at 2 o'clock is when her pacemaker actually did the spike. What if her pacemaker was spiking then because trying to reach out for help? You see what I'm saying?
Well, let me just butt in on that for a second.
Okay.
Are you sure it was at 2 or just after midnight? And are we talking about the blue Malibu with the woman screaming and the person with black going up Oracle? Is that what you're talking about? That guy?
I don't remember the name. I don't remember the color of the car. No, I don't remember the color of it. I just remember what they said. I remember it said it was 2:01 a.m. when the call came in, but the pacemaker was supposedly had spiked at 2 a.m.
Because there was an incident earlier that evening with an incident down on Oracle with a blue Malibu, but the sheriff has came out last week, I believe, like last Wednesday, and said it's not related.
Okay, so I didn't see that. So thank you for.
But unless you're talking about another incident that I'm not aware of.
This is the one that I saw on Nancy Grace. Like I said, I don't know what the color of the car was. I forgot what she said. I just do remember there was no license plate on the car, and she said a lady had her hand out, and the window was down, and she was screaming out for help.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's so. I don't remember what make and model of the car was. Another thing I do want to say in my theory is, what if the what do you call it? You know how a lot of people say, well, why didn't they pick her up? Why did she get an Uber there? Why didn't they pick her up? And part of me was wondering is, what if that was like a plausible deniability? Like, what if that is to be able to say, and I'm not really saying Annie, I don't really think Annie planned anything. I really do feel like Tommaso has something to do with it. But I feel like Annie maybe knows something because she's his wife and you just have them gut feelings. But what if, in my opinion, what if that's plausible deniability, having her get the Uber there so it's not placing you in the home beforehand for anyone to be able to get in, or anyone for the doors being unlocked and things like that. That's just another theory that I had.
That's called plausible deniability.
Yes.
It's a term I heard before. Really don't know much about it. Plausible deniability.
So that was just, like I said, that was just another theory I had. It's just a lot of things that doesn't make sense to me. The too many garage time. It's just a lot of things that doesn't make sense. I feel like the man on the porch, I feel like he was a decoy. I really don't feel like he was trying to get in the house that night, because if that picture is to be true of the other one that was supposed to be on a different day, then they would have known cameras was there. So they would have came prepared for that. I really feel like that. And remember, his book bag was already stopped. What if he had already gotten the other cameras and that was what was in the book bag? I feel like him waving that stuff in the camera was actually just for the benefit of the motion sensors, to maybe put a time there when something had already happened, in my opinion. I really don't think that they was trying to get in the house at that time.
Well, here's the thing. I have the book bag right here, the same exact one right here. And it's in my vehicle here. Now, I have it full with some stuff, some notebook, you know, and some papers and some gadgets or whatnot, but it's almost full here. You can't really put much in this book bag at all. But we saw the book bag with the perp, and it was full. It looked like it was full, right? I wonder what was in it. Some people suggest there was like a tarp in there, but I don't even think you can get a tarp in this book bag. I really don't.
What I was saying, it just, to me, I was saying, what if he had already gotten the other cameras?
Yeah.
From around the property.
Well, definitely you could get cameras into the book bag. And I don't know how much stuff can really get in that book bag.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of unanswered questions though, but
I can't really say so.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I appreciate your call, Chrissy. And so you're thinking Tommaso.
I really think yes. In my opinion, like I said, I know people want to say, oh, well, the sheriff cleared him. And another thing is, if the sheriff cleared him all that time ago, why did they keep their car for so long? When you cleared somebody, you would have just gone ahead and gave them their car back then. So it's a reason why, even though they cleared him, they still kept that car for so long.
But the reports now are saying they get their car back. Does that mean they're cleared? I mean, would you give the perp like potential perp? Like, would you give them their vehicle back if that's part of the case? I mean, you know,
if you now feel like you have everything you need, then maybe But I'm just saying, if, in my opinion, if when the time he came out and said they was cleared was last week sometime, I believe, then if they're cleared and you know for a fact, as Sheriff Nanos is basically saying, they had nothing to do with it, then why didn't they get their car back that day? Why did they just get it back? I think they just got it back on Monday.
No, according last night, the report by Fox News, Michael Ruiz said they're in the process of getting their vehicle back. So they still have it. It's not in their possession.
So yeah, that's another thing I'm saying is, why did you still have it? You know, and yes, sheriff might have cleared them, but has the FBI cleared them yet?
But do you take someone's vehicle for over a month?
If you don't suspect something.
That's what I mean. Like, just somebody that's not a suspect. Do they have the right to? Do you just volunteer say you can have my car for a month? Like, people need their vehicles. So. People need the vehicles to go around.
I don't feel like he's really cleared. I just really think that they may be sitting back waiting for him to make a mistake, in my opinion. That's just my theory. That's my opinion on it, because it's just, things are just not adding up. I'm sorry, they're just not.
Nothing adds up on this, and I 100% agree with you on that aspect. And I think a lot of people will concur on that, but it's wild. Appreciate your insight, Chrissy. You be safe there. Thanks for reaching out.
No problem.
And thanks for watching.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye. All right. What do you think? Why has no one mentioned a tomato emoji touching Savannah inappropriately in front of the house? Replay the clip. Or the house fire at First and River Road. House fire at First and River Road? What's going on with the house fire? Lipstick Smear says 2187. I didn't know about the house fire. First and River Road. Does anyone know anything about the house fire? Interesting. Oh, a psychic said, "Come pick me up, JLR. Are you in the area? Psychic Mara, come pick me up." Hey, psychic, if you're in the area, I would love to hear from a psychic. A psychic. I've any psychics out there in the Tucson area that would like to share some insight. You see the email there. I'd like to meet a psychic. We need to get a psychic perspective on the situation. A psychic medium on this. What else we got here? Another missing lady from Cocosino County. A missing lady here. 69-year-old Carolyn Legaspi Cosper. We got a missing lady. February 16th, 2026. There's a missing lady here. Somebody just sent me here. Missing lady. And she is 69-year-old Carolyn Cosper. Carolyn was last seen picking up her mail on February 3rd in Ash Fork, Arizona. It is believed she was at a residence on February 4th in Westwood Ranches, approximately 20 miles northwest of Ash Fork. Carolyn recently had heart surgery and walks with a cane. All Carolyn's vehicles are accounted for. It is believed she may have left the area on foot. That's an interesting one. But this might be one of those things where someone wanders off and something happens. But that one is out there too. That was just sent to me. 69 years old. 69 years old. All right. Let's keep it moving. Where's Nancy Guthrie? All right, someone here, a person, we'll just call a person, wants to talk, but do not use your name. All right. So, person that does not want me to use your name, I'm going to call you and hear you out. A person that does not want to use their name. Person that does not want to use their name. Hello.
Hello, JLR.
Hello, person that does not want me to use your name. What should I call you? Miss Anonymous?
Just Anonymous.
All right, Miss Anonymous, what you got?
I've been watching you for a long time on YouTube, and I've really got involved in this case with Nancy Guthrie because all of us have mothers, and we would hate to see our mother have something like that happen to them and never know, where she is. I mean, that's horrible. She's lived her whole life, and to have that happen at, your end of golden years. But anyway, I don't know if I can repeat all this on the air. I don't know if you want to mute it or you just want me to say it out loud because I guess it's already on the internet.
Go ahead.
There's a guy called Sleuth, Sluth, Intuition.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've seen him.
I have not, no.
Okay. Oh, my God. He's a YouTuber. The second thing is he did a YouTube video last night, and I just stayed up all night long because I sent this to you 5 in the morning because I was watching it. So anyway, he's done a lot of investigation. So I'm going to put some information out there from there.
Okay.
And then everybody can look it up. So I'm not defaming anybody. I'm not slandering anybody. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But this is so interesting. You will be shocked when I tell you this. So you got to look at this video. I sent you the link. So, Luke. Okay, Luke. If you notice, he did his interview. He had facial hair in the car at Culver's, and now all that facial hair is gone. He's totally shaved.
Yes.
Okay, so the blue car that was in his driveway that you mentioned that was tarped.
Yes.
If you notice on his hand in the interview from this Sleuth Intuition YouTuber, he has a swollen right hand, big swollen right hand. So did he get hurt in the wreck in that car that was tarped in his driveway? And did the FBI or the SWAT team pick up that car? I think you said just a regular towing truck picked it up for insurance, but oh my God, it should have been picked up because that kind of correlates with that car that was in the morning with the girl in there. Couldn't have been Nancy, but it could have been somebody in there with him, and he had a wreck and got hurt. You notice in the video at the ring camera, that hand is really big, even though he's double gloved on the right side, and he also kind of limping around. And so the sleuth guy has a picture behind the scenes when he did the interview, and you can see where his hand is really swollen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So anyway, guess who Kayla Day is married to? A guy named William.
William?
I don't know his last name. But William was sent to prison in 2015 or 16 for trafficking Mexicans across the U.S. border.
Interesting.
And he caused a wreck that killed an 80-year-old lady. So he's been in jail. I assume he's out now. But
I saw that. I saw that. Kayla Day's spouse went to prison for that. I saw that floating around.
So this is where it really gets shocking. I'm just like nervous talking about it. So Derek Kalala, this sleuth intuition pulled up his Facebook. So he, on his Facebook, is a Satanist. He's got all kind of Satan stuff on there and honor to Satan. He screenshotted everything and kept copies of it in case it got deleted. But anyway, so on the Facebook page, he is in touch with a guy named Mojito. Mojito is a DJ who helped organize a fetish satanic ball, BALL, in Tucson on February the 7th.
Interesting.
So it gets worse. Listen to this, Jay, I'm shaking. He showed pictures of, guess who was out there at the scenes filming?
Who?
You know, the people in black.
So who?
The lady that was half naked and the guy.
Oh, really?
That was filming out there.
Oh, you're talking about the photo shoot people that were out there at the house the other day. They were there?
They were there at that satanic fetish ball February the 7th.
You got pics?
No, he does.
Interesting.
So the deal is, and this is my thing, and I hate to even say this.
Her name is Kiki, by the way. One of her name, I think her name is Kiki. He
has screenshots of that fetish ball because there's all kind of pictures of people dressed in chains, hanging themselves from hooks, and all kind of stuff. So he has a picture of him and her, and then he shows, where here they are in front of Nancy's house, taking pictures, whatever. He says, I hope this isn't a movie that they're ending the scene and they know what happened. Did they get Nancy for satanic purposes?
It's wild. Derek Kalala, when Derek Kalala got arrested, we immediately did a live on the channel. We reviewed his entire social media pages, including his Instagram. We went down it and we were analyzing. And we saw that satanic, dark, edgy, in the music, this network, his people surrounded with him. I didn't know about the connection that you just said with the Tucson DJ though. And some ball. I didn't know anything about this ball.
Yeah, look it up. There was a February the 7th. There was a fetish satanic ball, and this Mojito guy is a DJ, and he helped organize it. So this Kalila guy has it on his Facebook with all his other satanic stuff. And so as this sleuth intuition YouTuber has pictures of those two people who were at Nancy's house dressed in black at this ball.
That's weird.
With other people too. Isn't that
maybe
weird?
it's just coincidence. I don't know, but it is weird if that's true.
I don't think so. So two things I just want to leave you with. Number one is I can't believe having law enforcement in my family and just having critical thinking skills. I happen to be a nurse too. Critical thinking skills. Why was that whole area not locked down? First thing. We've all said that.
Great question.
Second thing is, think about it. You take your trash to the road. Do you ever go out back to your trash can to see what's in there before they get picked up?
Nope.
You have mentioned so many times that I've been watching you the last 3 weeks, you've tracked the waste management trucks. Okay. So if they did something to her, was she in big black trash bags? I hate to say it. Was she put in a trash can? Is it at a landfill? So the sheriff should have said in a 5-mile radius, we will pick your trash up, but we're taking it to a different area in the landfill all by itself. so it can be investigated.
I think it goes to a transfer station, then to a landfill.
Well, same difference. It should have been separated out and not done whatever. I mean, I've seen people in my neighborhood that put things in my trash can that just go by.
Yeah, people do that all the time.
So you never know. But that's really scary with this fetish ball that was February the 7th, and these people were in town and they were seen there. He's got it on the pictures of them, and then they're there a couple days later taking a photo shoot.
It's definitely cultures out there, for sure.
So I'm hoping somebody like that did not get a hold of Nancy.
Derek Colella. So, him contacting Tommaso. I mean,
Correct.
I mean, what do you think of that? Like, do you think he knew Tommaso and Annie, or just called them up randomly and just out of the blue, or there's some connection between them, or no?
Well, I mean, everybody says, well, you can get your phone number on the internet. You really can't. If you look up like My Life or trying to scout out people, you don't really see, their email is XXX and their phone number is last phone number XXX. So how did he get it?
Well, some sites have the first XXX and the back end. You can see the numbers, and other sites have the back end. Oh, you know what I mean? Vice versa.
Yeah.
And you just put the pieces together.
Yeah.
On available reports, on publicly available. A lot of people, believe it or not, when you give your phone number to the credit card companies and everything like that, they report it. That's how they're getting their numbers.
Yeah. I don't know. What's the word? It's too, I hope the FBI knows all this, and I hope this sleuth, intuition YouTuber, I hope he's gotten in contact with him, because he's putting a lot of stuff together. Because to me, it's not coincidental. It's not coincidental. This is just, in a million years, would you have thought those people would have been out there in those outfits, satanic, dark, taking pictures in front of Nancy's Gunstreet's house?
I never seen anything like that.
Really. I just think it's all connected, and I'm just afraid that my theory is that she was put in the garbage. Whatever they did to her for satanic reasons, or whatever they did to her, she was put in the trash. I hate to say it, and that, he should have locked down the transfer station and the trash pickup. It shouldn't have been going on in the beginning of such a crucial case.
Miss Anonymous, anyway, I appreciate the call. Thank you for the insight.
Thank you for all you do. God bless you. You are amazing, and I wish you the best, and stay safe out there.
All right, will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, it's coming from Miss Anonymous, saying satanic cults, rituals, dark, edgy stuff. What do you think, folks? What do you think?
I think my internet stopped.
All right, so we're back here live in front of the Bring Her Home sign. Oh, Alex is calling me back for some reason. All right, Alex, come on in the chat. I see you calling. Must be something interesting.
Yeah, a couple of things to clarify. So the 911 calls, we got to clear that because it's very important. Okay, so whether it was 301 or 201, I'm not sure, because it was on CST time, but it also depends on whoever downloaded it, where they were in the country. So I really don't know the exact time, but let's just say, for what I have on my notes, 3:01 a.m. Right? That was Oracle and River, and that was a blue Malibu with no plates. The lady screaming. And at 12:50ish a.m., a little earlier that evening, they pulled over a blue Dodge with no plates, and inside of that car, there was occupants. That's all it said. And one of the occupants was on supervised release. So, he's probably just got out of prison, or has been out of prison for a minute.
Federal prison, supervised release.
Exactly. So I don't know who that was, but in that vehicle, I don't know whose car it was. I don't know if it was, what's his name? I don't want to say it. Hey, in Sleuth Intuition, that dude does some amazing investigating, bro.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's awesome. And then last thing is, I just remembered the neighbor that I was talking to, what she was telling us, which kind of, I don't know. She says that Nancy was not immobile at all. She still could drive to CVS, park in the handicap parking spot, and walk in. She didn't have any caregiver at the house, so in other words, she could cook food. And, it's a big house, but she was able to. Anyway, that meant, when she said that, it was kind of strange. And she also said that everybody in the neighborhood knew her for decades. Everybody. So.
What do you think about the last call about Derek Kalala and the Bitcoin and his connection to this satanic ritual DJ event?
What if Kiki put a curse on me, man?
I mean, Kiki came out there and pretty much said that she's out there starting a true crime channel.
I don't know what she told me off, remember? But it just wasn't on tape. Remember? You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. I didn't see. No.
I don't want to repeat it, but anyway, she was very strange. But the dude she was with was cool.
Mimi has a comment here. It says, in my opinion, the texts with between Derek Kalala and Tommaso were suspicious. No mention of Nancy and not a mention of where to send the Bitcoin. He was asking a question in his text, making his excuse for sending them ridiculous. Red flags.
Wow. That is strange.
All right, Alex.
Yeah, anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too. All right, somebody's sending me some information here. Let's see what we got. We'll keep the conversation going. Chris Roach Investigates wants to speak. Chris Roach. Let me see. All right, Chris Roach Investigates. We'll get you up in the pipeline. Chris Roach Investigates. Chris Roach.
Hi, Lydia. Brazzy.
Watching Chris Roach Investigates. Welcome back.
I got a
morning. Hi, Chris Roach Investigates.
I don't think Ray's home.
How are we doing out there today, JLR?
A little bit cooler today. We're just kind of out here in front of KVOA, as you see, with the banner in the backdrop, having just discussions and just waiting for the next move.
Nice. So just wanted to kind of give my intake here. Heard some of the callers this morning, and I'm going to just kind of run you through some things where I think me as an investigator, where I'm heading. So first off, let's go through. I did learn yesterday that the Pima County Sheriff's Department, this is pretty wild, and this is probably a lot of the reasons why everybody feels like they're going in circles, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have 169 officers on the Pima County Sheriff's Department. 101 of those officers have less than 10 months of on-the-job experience. That means they just came out of the academy, fresh, brand new, really don't know much about it. Probably a lot of them probably weren't even, really going to college or anything like that. So, that's first off. The sheriff, he's not the best. I've seen so many interviews of people actually working at the department now, and this all seems to make sense. So a lot of the people that currently work under his administration, they're just scratching their heads because they personally know him. And they're saying this sheriff, he shouldn't have been out in front of the cameras because he's just not a PR person.
Mm-hmm.
That department actually has people employed, and why he came out and said the stupidest things that he did, like why he said they were there the night before and then he backtracked. It's because he's just not a PR person. He's just not the guy for the job, right? So this all kind of makes sense to me why it's been such a clusterfuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have the inexperience from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. We have the sheriff that gave out just bad information, just like the same thing he gave out bad information about those cars. This is so silly. It's so easy as an investigator to pick this up. When he mentioned there's foul, and I believe Alex was just on your show, whenever sheriff just said, Chris Manio said there's thousands of cars we're looking into.
Mm-hmm.
It's common sense. Alex just said, hey, we camp out here at night. It's relatively really quiet. There's not thousands of cars we're looking into. It's terrible PR. It's just, he's nervous. He's on national television. He's got this microscope over him. The guy's just nervous. He's saying shit that he really doesn't really mean. So let's just get that on the table for one.
Yeah.
Second of all, where am I heading with this? Annie Tomaso's off the table for me at this point.
They are.
Yeah, they are off the table for me. And the reason that I do say that now is because, and I believe one of the ladies that called in earlier, she wanted to know how come they kept Annie and Tomaso's CRV. I think that's what they have as a CRV.
Honda, yeah.
Yeah, that Honda is because the forensic analysis lab usually they're not very fast, so they were probably running behind. So there was a little reason for the delay. They did, however, get that back. 20 some days in forensic labs. That's actually very fast to be frank. So those people are off the table for me. No family involvement. So
Hi,
here's
Nicole.
where
How
I'm
are you?
beginning to really think that what
Welcome
we're dealing with here. So November 5th, Savannah Guthrie came on national television, and she gave out way too much information. She did a hometown coming home to say, hey, this is where I grew up. This is basically where my mom lives. This is where we eat. This was 2 months prior to Nancy going missing.
Mm-hmm.
You can YouTube it, Google it. I mean, it was all over the news, all over anywhere. Pretty much everybody was filming. You could do such an easy search to figure out where Nancy lived. And some of these callers are like, well, how did they get the email and the text of Annie? Dude, I could find that in 2 minutes. It's this simple. It's really simple here. What we're dealing with is a bunch of boneheads from Mexico that I believe the ransom note was real. I believe they used a VPN. I believe they maybe went to like a library or somewhere. And they did plan this out. It was well planned, well methodical. And I believe along the way, they did think that maybe they could get away. These are not professionals. These are just stupid crime organizational type people. Luke Daly's off the table. Kayla Day's off the table. This whole, spiritual, this satanic thing, that's just, you guys read too many books. It's just really simple, right? These were boneheads from Mexico. They got that idea that they could get some money, and then they started surveilling. They had someone local that started surveillancing the area for a good month, right? That's the guy you see in the photo.
Uh-huh.
They're not going to give too much information out. So Savannah did that whole hometown, I'm in Kappa Delta, and I'm in the sorority, and I went here, and I went there, and we eat over at El Chapo's, or whatever that place was. I think it's right down the street from where you were actually driving by. You said, man, this smells good. These are all simple things people can figure out. I don't even live there, never been to Tucson, and I can tell you everything I need to know just by Googling, right? So what we're dealing with is some boneheads. I think this case will be solved. I think they're a matter of what they're doing now is they're going through a lot of video surveillance, and they're trying to find the getaway
You don't know
car.
where she is?
It may take us 3 months to get these people, but we will get them. There's a matter of fact. This is not a cold case. We will get these people. It's just a matter of time. And it comes back to the inexperience. Like I said, a lot of the officers, 101 of the officers have less
she doesn't go outside, does she?
experience. Straight out the gate, these guys blotched it up from the first couple of days. So these guys were methodical.
You said
planned it
boneheads
out.
from Mexico.
Boneheads from Mexico, crime organization, saw an opportunity to get some cash. They looked up Savannah Guthrie. She's worth $40 million.
Okay,
They saw
Lydia.
mom's house was worth $1 million. Probably thought, damn, man, this is some, in Latin countries, man, even $50,000 would be a lot of money in Latin America. You're talking Mexico, Guatemala, Haiti, Costa Rica, Panama. I've lived in Latin America for 6 years. I know how this works, man. $50K would be you would be rich. So those ransom demands, the first one was $6 million for Bitcoin. I think that was real. I think a day or two went by and she died. And so their whole plan just backfired.
Uh-huh.
And I think they literally, at this point, they're just trying to track a car. They probably, I'm trying to not be graphic here, but I think they probably ended up cutting the pacemaker out of Nancy, destroyed it, no trackable trace, probably put it in the desert somewhere. Somebody may find bones 10 years from now, but that's where my theory, that's where I'm going now. I actually am going to have Lois Gibson on my, I'm going to do a video with Lois Gibson. I reached out to her. She's the famous artist that does the sketches. She has over 1,350 convicted people that she's worked with FBI. So I'm going to have her on tomorrow at 2. If you wanted to join us, feel free. I would love to have you as well. You could maybe pick her brain if you wanted to.
Who is she? This courtroom sketch artist?
Yeah, it's Lois Gibson.
Huh.
She's the famous sketch artist that's captured all these big cases around the U.S. So
she'll come back. She knows who's future.
What's today's?
She probably out chasing something.
And we both basically had the same theory, and it was weird. I was like, kind of picking her brain.
Hopefully she'll be back.
Chris, what's your theory? And I gave it. She's like, oh my God. She's like, that's what I think too. And I'm like, that's so random. So
maybe she's under the barn.
You can come on and you can listen to her as well. So just throwing it out there. You may be busy, but that's my 2 cents for right now.
Yeah, we just got a comment by the Ash Bright saying there's Michael Ruiz posted new activity at Nancy's. However, I'm looking at Michael Ruiz's Twitter account, and there's nothing going on at Nancy's. No, but I appreciate that, Chris. We'll see if it ends up being boneheads from Mexico.
I mean, I really do. I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, everybody's got all these crazy theories, that there's some sex predator wanting to have sex with Nancy, in the neighborhood. And just
we had an individual last night, Dr. Q, and I'm liking his theory here. Parasocial psychopath type person that's just fixated on Savannah and just did the research on Savannah and gets every single clip of Savannah and becomes eerily obsessed with Savannah and then just takes it out on the mom. Reason being, at first definitely open-minded to everything and everything like that, with all these characters and players in this mix, from Tommaso to Annie to Luke to Carlos and all these people. But, I'm not even leaning towards Tommaso anymore at all personally. But I don't know, Chris. I don't know, but I'm open-minded to everything until we get some sort of direction here.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a plausible theory there. I think
she's probably hiding.
Would probably move
so
up
she
to
doesn't
my
get
second
wet.
theory would be that as well with Dr. Q's theory. I don't think it's really as complicated as we really think it is. I know we like to think that way, but
see, here's the reason I say, and I go back to Moscow, Idaho with the Idaho 4. Like, no one had Brian Kohlberger on the bingo card. Just this dude, this criminology stranger dude that just did this and, tried to commit the perfect crime. And he almost did if it wasn't with the knife sheath left behind. I think it would have been a harder thing to do. But though he wasn't necessarily that smart because of the white Honda Elantra zigzagging through the neighborhoods and everything, even though he turned his phone off. But, many people at the time throwing out names, soror or Greek fraternity people and friends and the inner circle and roommates and it ended up being just a complete psycho that had really no connection to any of them whatsoever and just was doing it more or less probably out of the thrill. So it makes me think like we got a situation like similar to that, just some sort of person here that really like is not on anyone's bingo card. We just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think from everyone I've spoke to, from my sources, from what I've watched, Fred Rogers, former FBI retired agent, everyone seems to think there's at least 3 people involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's coming across. I think the guy from the active SWAT team was on Surviving the Survivor last night. They had some really good guests, and then they have the other guy. I think he's been retired for 30 days from Pima County. And it seems like there's a real problem with Sheriff Nanios. It really does. It
That's
seems
what
like,
I gotta start, and I haven't even started
he's in
it
some
yet.
hot water over this, and I would anticipate something coming down the line with him, because his department fumbled this from day one. So, but I think realistically, when this comes down to it, said and done, when it's solved, it's gonna be either one of two things. It's gonna be just some boneheads decided they wanted to target this because of the Savannah angle. The Savannah angle, you know, they looked into, she was famous, a lot of money at stake,
Yeah.
and it just went backfired. It, you know, she died on him right away, within maybe, you know, within a day
her
probably.
cat's name is Rose.
And then it could be also that angle similar to like the Brian Koberger case, where you know someone's just
She
so
saved it
fixated
out in the middle of the road one
but
day.
you know that
After his.
that would just, you know, that theory.
But I can't.
see that getting three people together, fixated together. That I can't. See
No, that would mean it would be like a sole participant, you know.
Right.
But again, you know, most of the chat, including myself, believe them more than one person is involved. Most.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that's across the
well,
board.
we
Every
haven't seen
law enforcement-
evidence. We haven't seen
Yeah.
evidence of more than one person involved.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. If you watch any video and you listen to any type of former FBI agent or anyone active, everyone's got the same theory. They say this is multiple people. This is just not one. So it almost throws that theory of the Dr. G kind of, you know, a single person, Brian Koberger, just gone ape shit crazy.
But I don't think if that would be the case, similar to Kohlberg, I don't think it would be it wouldn't be somebody in their early 20s doing this. Perp could be maybe in his 40s, or you know, it's a little bit older than a college student. Plus, the perp does look older than 30, I believe, in the that person in the video there. I'm leaning towards upper 30s, 40-ish in that perp.
I agree. I think the guy on the front doorbell camera, I think he's at least 40, just based upon the body language when he steps off that porch. I think you had another caller. She was talking about.
Some people say it's a girl, by the way. Some people, you believe that person's a girl in that photo?
You know what's weird? So I asked my cousin this question. Of course, you know what I meant. He's like, it looked like a girl. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I think the reason why people think it's a female is because if you really look at the video camera and you look at those eyebrows, and I know you guys are going to think that I'm weird, but I actually get this done myself. It's called threading. It's an Asian way where they take this. It's called like dental floss, and they floss like I have my eyelashes. I get that done even though I had I was in Costa Rica and got it's like tattooed on my eyebrows, so they have them fixed. I know I sound girly, right? But me and my wife, we got that done when we were in Costa Rica. We got the eyebrows done, but he's got perfect eyelashes, right? So I don't think the door guy, I don't think he ever went inside. And I think that other caller, she mentioned that. She says, yeah, he's just, I mean, I think he was the lookout guy. He was the guy that had a tarp in that backpack. I don't think he had any type of business inside that home.
I need to get a tarp and see if it fits in this backpack.
Yeah, you should do that. You should go to Walmart or something and get one of those. It's just a regular like blue tarp, I would imagine.
Somebody suggested it was cameras. I got the backpack. I got the same similar backpack. You can't really get much in this backpack. I'm telling you, you can't really get much. Smaller items, but I don't know if a tarp's going to fit because it has 2 slots in there. But maybe if someone got a tarp, I will see if you could stuff a tarp in there.
Yeah, you could try on the black or blue tarp.
Because the question is, what was in the backpack?
I mean, it could be 2 things. It could be a tarp, or it could be actually
tools.
I mean, I think it's more the backpack or the tarp, because there's no, like, you don't see any hard edges on the backpack to be like, you know, tools and duct tape and, you know, I mean.
It looks like it's compact, like a parachute, you know, like a parachute, kind of all compacted in, like some. Yeah, it does look like.
That's why I was leaning toward the tarp. And I think that even Jennifer Coffin Daffer, she said that they did the fireman's crawl. I think they put her on a tarp. I think they wrapped her up in a tarp and
Carried her out.
and carried her out. But see, then that goes back into the whole like the blood droplets on the front porch.
What about duct tape? What about duct tape? Carried her out alive in a tarp duct with their mouth covered, because obviously somebody's gonna scream.
Yeah, and so a lot of theories were like, that I saw some forensic people, talking about that perhaps was a cough. This whole case, man, is so weird. Nothing adds up. Nothing makes sense. So it's so strange.
All right, Chris.
Really
Very nice talking to you today. Keep me informed, and I'll do the same with you. Thanks for reaching out.
I will, man. Stay safe, and hopefully we get some answers soon.
We'll see what happens. Thanks.
All right, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Chris Roach investigates. Go check him out on X. He thinks it's just some boneheads from Mexico that did this. I'm looking around. I don't see any activity. I don't know where somebody said that there was activity at Nancy Guthrie's home. I have not seen that whatsoever. No activity. So we're out here in front of the house here. Not the house, but the banner. We started out at the house of Nancy Guthrie. Anybody else want to talk? Hey, Nancy. Mike says there's Summer Wells similarities to this. Summer Wells case similarities from Mike. Summer Wells went missing June 15, 2021. Rogersville, Tennessee, just vanished. He thinks there's Summer Wells similarities. You're coming on in, Mike. It looks like you're from Tennessee. Summer Wells similarities. Let's hear what he has to say about Summer Wells similarities. 202 number coming in.
Hello.
Hi, Mike.
JLR, thank you for the call.
Thank you for reaching out. You're from Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
You're from Tennessee. Summer
Yes,
Wells.
sir. Actually, we were the persons. I'm the only person now that sent you way back the East Tennessee Watch Party. We had a group over, so we've been following the case very intimately. And yes, I'm very familiar with the Summer Wells case, and it piqued my interest, the similarities. And I wanted to kind of throw it out there. I know some people that was involved with that investigation.
Summer Wells.
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Which, by the way, is still unsolved.
Correct.
So the information that I've received, and I've heard over the past few years about that case, obviously the mother and the father was deeply embedded in it. A lot of people thought, the sheriff was on the hook for a lot of criticism. He had a son
I'm sure
that was all jacked up. So the guy that I spoke with was a deputy on the case, and he told me so many similarities with this case that if I could get in touch with you guys, maybe it's a theory out there. He and I and my watch party are not steering away from, I call him Tomato, sorry, Tommaso and Amy. I think he's the mastermind. I think he's got 8 or 10 people involved in this. Very similar to the Summer Wells case. There's so many people around here, and we live in Hawkins County, and I think you were up this way during that case.
Correct.
That believe there's multiple people involved. It could have been drug related. It could have been sex trafficking. I don't even like going there in my head. I think it's sick. But we're talking about an 84-year-old lady. All the most common things have been mentioned with, who would take an 84-year-old lady, this, that, and the other. The bottom line for us in East Tennessee, and with the deputy I spoke to, and with his familiarity with the Summer Wells case, he believes it's got to be family oriented. He believes it's got to be someone with intimate knowledge of the home. That was very comfortable inside the home. They knew escape routes from the home, and not the life insurance and the will obviously is going to go to the family, which is why he also believes that, and I do too, but that Amy is also involved. So I would just like to get your thoughts on our theory. I hate to even bring up the Summer Wells case, but it's so eerily similar. Missing, the only difference is at least when she went missing, there was updates frequent.
Mhm.
They're giving us nothing. So we're kind of just all throwing out theories and guessing. I know you have mentioned that you're leaning away from Tommaso. I would like to get your thought on why you are leaning against him if you have time. But yeah, I appreciate you taking the call.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to give you some insights that I'd found out from the sheriff who actually worked the Summer Wells case, and he was giving me some.
Well, I covering these cases and hearing when a sheriff puts their neck, or a law enforcement, whoever's leading the investigation, puts their neck on the line and says this person has been cleared, I want to believe it. And usually the cases, doing this for me, I've been doing this for 10 years. You tend to believe them, and it ends up being true. They are cleared. They are cleared. When they put their neck out and say they've been cleared, I want to believe it.
Correct.
That's number one. Number two, Savannah, even in some of her, Instagram posts that Savannah makes, she's definitely aligning with Annie. She's referencing Annie. She's side by side with Annie. So it seems like she believes Annie, right? Which spouse of Tommaso, and then the situation we saw the other day with all of them coming out together.
Correct.
Down there makes me feel like the family's in a unified front. And, Savannah is supporting Annie and Tommaso through this. And unless it's just all an act, unless she's just in denial, but I tend to believe at this point that they are not involved. But there is some weird stuff that's been happening around their home.
Yes,
Makes me wonder, also, is Annie and Tommaso actually a victim in this case? And this whole motive is something to do with their lifestyle and something on their end, and someone targeted them and took it out on Nancy. I'm definitely open-minded to that.
Correct. My dude that has been watching your whole right from the jump. We've been with you, and he was on his way over with the notes, and I had hoped to have my notepad so I didn't miss out on anything and me jumping around. But one of the things he mentioned too was the nightlight at. And we're going back weeks, right? So we've been with you from the jump. We saw everything. You saw everything. But the nightlight at Tommaso's that evening, and then one day they searched the whole neighborhood, asking neighbors about cars, this, that, and the other. There was a reason that tips, whatever, that led them to there to go and check. Whether it was for blood or for whatever. And there's also reasons that the deputies and the feds walked around the neighborhood basically the whole day. And when the sheriff says cleared, we've learned in East Tennessee that does not mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've heard you talk about Lawson.
Ronnie Lawson, yes.
Correct. Nanos and Lawson, very, very similar in my opinion. I think, I don't want to call out anything on national coverage here, but I'm just trying to put out our theory and our thoughts and kind of let you know where this side of the country stands, at least in East Tennessee. And also just with my friend that had worked a little bit with the poor little girl Summer Wells case. Mm-hmm. Just thought we would throw out some similarities, and those similarities are eerie. I'll
be honest. I'll give you my opinion, and I stand 99.9%, with this statement here. I almost 100% believe that Don Wells is responsible for what happened to his daughter Summer Wells on numerous levels. Don Wells and the people around Don Wells is protecting him. right?
Agreed.
For what he did. Now, Don Wells has also went on camera and gave interviews. You know, he's kind of playing, I kind of put Don Wells in the category of Scott Peterson and Chris Watts and some of these people,
Correct.
Just manipulating the media and using the media and saying that he's not involved in this, that, and the other, but most likely is involved.
Absolutely. And
with
I
that.
I agree with you totally. And you made a good point with the similarities in this case. We believe that there's multiple people involved in this.
Mm-hmm. We
also believe there's multiple people involved in the Summer Wells case. And you had mentioned that he has a lot of people, perhaps covering for him.
Well, I only think two people are covering for him: the grandma Grandis and Candace Wells. That's the only one. I don't believe there's multiple people involved with Don Wells. Don Wells was under investigation by Child Protective Services, DCF, whatever you call them out there, and they've made multiple visits at his house prior. He's, I believe that he's done some very egregious things with his daughter, and he's being investigated for, and he had to dispose of the body.
Correct. And I couldn't agree with you more. The only reason I say multiple is relative, right? Like it could be 4, 5, 6. There are some cousins and things that was interviewed. Uncles, aunts, whatever have you.
But with this case, again, you're right in a sense. Somebody could be cleared and end up not being cleared, new information, or it could just, people said, the sheriffs can say whatever they want to us. They can lie to the public. I mean, they can say things. We can't legally lie to law enforcement upon questioning, because you can be charged, but they can legally lie to the world if they want to. I mean, it would be a credibility, shot. Nanos put his neck on the line. I want to believe Nanos. But there has been a lot of law enforcement activity around Annie and Tommaso's home. We saw the, photographs and the pictures and the ICAC, and we seen the Celebrite people at their home, but maybe that was just to rule them out. Maybe that was just to fully rule them out, because they just don't know, because at the same time, all the feds and all the, in that neighborhood, they were also in the neighborhoods of Nancy, all the escape routes, going door to door too.
Absolutely. And I'm open-minded. I'm kind of piggybacking off of my deputy friend here, but there's so many different ways this could go. I mean, I really feel that it's money motivated. I really feel it's multiple people, and the people that got pulled over and detained and raided, who's to say they're out of the woods? I mean, it's the same thing. You said that, that they're allowed to lie to us. I think if I was in law enforcement, and by the way, I would like to be in stance with you, and I am in stance with you. We should be able to trust our sheriffs and our local law enforcement. I think the whole JL Army agrees with that. With that said, I know 100% fact from my guy here that works for the Hawkins County Sheriff that we cannot always believe stuff. Now, whether Nanos is in that category, I believe he is. But yes, I would like to think we can believe our law enforcement. When they come out and make a statement that stern, hey, this dude is cleared, that's a big statement. However, is it a strategy? Is it to make them feel more comfortable? It's Savannah. How awkward can that be if she has any inclination? And it doesn't seem that she does, or like you said, she's putting on a great act.
There was a woman that came out to the scene at Nancy's home weeks back, and she said she was in correspondence with someone that is involved with the school that Tommaso speaks at. And she was saying everyone at the school supports Tommaso and stands by Tommaso. I saw your interview the parents support Tommaso. Now, she's like everyone. When I mean, she might be over exaggerating that, but it does seem like, I mean, I don't know if he went back to, work and school and whatnot, where he works, but like at their house, it's empty at their house. I mean, soon as they were publicly cleared, the security guard outside Tommaso and Annie's home left. There's nobody else there. No media is camped out there anymore.
Yeah.
But you know, they were there. They were there at that location. They were all circling around. They were asking surveillance at the nearby businesses on Oracle. You know, my mind is thinking to rule them out, to officially clear them and rule them out.
Yeah.
Possibly because the sheriff just does not know who did this.
Yeah,
And
I'm also you're very obviously much more trained and much more knowledgeable than me.
I'm just a guy with a phone, just seeing what's going on, man. I don't have no degree in any of this type of work here. I'm just a guy with a phone, observing what I see with my own eyes and coming up with my own thoughts and theories and speculation,
correct.
Along with factual stuff in front of us.
Great insights, and your admiration is second to none. And all the haters on the chat just needs to go and find somewhere else to do all that, because you've put way too much time and effort. And but I also the feds, you know, they've kind of just, you know, I would really like to see a little more action with them, even if it's coming out saying, hey guys, we're still working on a few things, just bear with us. You know, it's like in the Summer Wells case, and you mentioned Scott Peterson, you mentioned
Chris Watts, people that talk dude on camera. Jake Carroll's another one too.
So correct. So, and we don't want to get to Drew Peterson.
Drew Peterson. Yeah.
But the point is, so, and we've put ourselves in those shoes, God forbid. But I think all of your army would mostly agree that we would be out front and center daily, as much as possible, in front of a camera, doing something. And if Savannah don't want to get swarmed by cameras, at least send someone, a family spokesperson. I mean, it's like this thing is just, it's not going to go away. But that is very similar to what's happened here in East Tennessee. It's everybody just kind of forgot about the case, and here it is, 5-6 years later, and it's still unsolved. And we just didn't want it to go down that road. Poor little Nancy. And it's in East Tennessee, we got a saying, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. If we ask 12 people, there might be 6 think tomatoes involved and 6 that don't. And I like hearing everybody's opinions.
Here's the thing with this case: if it remains unsolved for a year or two, there will always be people that believe that Tommaso, Annie, other names, all of Luke, Carlos, Derek Kalala, bandmates. You know, there will always be people until this case is solved that believe that they're involved. Until it gets solved, no matter what.
And I hate it for them.
And I feel bad for all of them, because they all could be 100% innocent.
Correct.
And I want to think they're all innocent, but they will always have some people that will be prying around, digging in on them, posting things. Even though this case remains, if it remains unsolved, there will always be people posting on the internet that feel like.
I did hear something from my only other person I watch, who is second behind you. We definitely watch you first, and that's not just a gimmick. I mean, you're true boots on the ground. I mean, you go from running off a cliff in Rio Rico almost to picking up a hitchhiker who we thought he was a little crazy for that, but hey, you got the cojones, right? And your boots on the ground. But Brian Enton does a little decent job, and he believes that the case is not going to go cold. I don't know why he said it.
I don't think so either. I don't think so.
I wanted to get your thoughts on it. So
I think it's full blast. I think the perp's going to get caught very, very soon, at any minute. Okay. That's my thinking here. There's too much pressure. They can't allow this to continue. They just can't. Not on this magnitude. Now, there's cases like Summer Wells that have been going on a long time and stuff like that, but Summer Wells has gotten not nearly the attention of this. This has been probably the biggest true crime case in the last 20 years. Literally, I think this is not. There's too much. There's too much. Yes. There's too much forces involved, and they have too many resources. They can figure this out, and money talks.
Absolutely.
And they can figure this out. I think it's at any time. I don't think this case is going. That's why I'm here. That's literally like, if I felt like this is going nowhere and it's going to drag out for years, I would have been gone. I really do think something's about to happen, and it could happen right any second. That's my mindset here.
Okay, and that reassures me that when I sit around and watch it with my dudes and with my mother and aunt, you know, we're sitting here and we're actually getting somewhere, because that reassures us that, you know, because you would tell everyone, hey, I'm going back home. If anything pops, I'll head back out west, you know, because, but with you and the number 2, Enton, saying it, that's very promising. And yeah, you're correct. It's very sad that Summer Wells, and look, there's like probably 1 million cases across the country that don't get nowhere near this much attention. So
I'll tell you a crazy Summer Wells story. Did you ever see the video where that neighbor took me through the woods with his gun?
absolutely.
Oh my goodness. I was kind of scared, that guy, just some stranger down there that lives in the back of a holler, you know, that he's shirtless and he has a gun on him. And he's like, yeah, I'll take you back there. And, you know, he had to, you know, I didn't know if he was going to pull the gun on me or what, man. You know, that was pretty scary, you know, just trusting somebody going into the holler with somebody. So I remember that experience.
And I watched it vividly, but I watched it after the fact. A little bit about that. I used to not be a YouTube follower up until a couple years ago. So I wasn't there with you intimately from the jump like we have been here. But after the fact, I go back and watch it, and all your coverage was second to none. And I do remember exactly. And you got to be careful down in Hawkins County. We're about 30 minutes. You probably heard Kingsport, the Tri-Cities.
Yeah.
So we're a little more city, not as much country, but all my family lives there, and you can get moonshine, you can get shot. You don't know what you're going to get. I know
that people, there's very territorial over their properties, you know, and you know, people got guns. You know what? I will say with this particular case, there again, the 2 ladies that came up to me and said they knew who did Nancy. They wanted me to come in their van with them, and guess what? I declined. And there's no disrespect if they're watching, but I was kind of scared to get in with these 2 individuals, just get in, you know, into a van and go, you know, wherever they wanted to share some stuff with me and take me. I just didn't feel comfortable doing that. And usually I just go and do things. But these 2 individuals came and said they know who did this. She was distraught. She was crying. You know, I encouraged them to go to the sheriff's office. I didn't go in the car. And they wanted me to go. They wanted me to come in and take me.
Yeah, and you seem to have a real good judge of character. You kind of know, you got a good feel, I guess is a good way to put it. But
all right, I gotta let you go though.
Yes, sir. Thanks for taking the time to talk. I just thought I'd bring up the Summer Wells case also, just to kind of maybe reignite that a little too.
Summer Wells.
As we're working on Nancy, because, you know, the little girl here, I mean, it's just so sad. And then we got an elder lady out west. It's so sad. It's just, you know, why can't we get all this fixed? But
Summer Wells, yes. And everyone Google Don Wells.
And be prepared. But you keep doing the great work,
all right,
JLR.
Mike.
We're going to get you some more money sent to you. I appreciate
No, I don't need anything. I'm good.
I know that, but look, you give money to homeless people. You give gift cards to the homeless. I mean, you don't get as much as you deserve. But thank you for taking the call, and hope this gets solved soon. And thanks for staying on the case.
Be safe in Tennessee, Mike. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bye. All right, Summer Wells. Yeah, Summer Wells. Sad case. Don and Candace Wells. Sheriff Nanos publicly cleared Annie and Tommaso, but didn't publicly clear Carlos and Luke. That has been presented to me, and that is true. Carlos and Luke, they haven't been publicly cleared by the sheriff yet. The sheriff publicly clears Annie and Tommaso and siblings in the family. Why? That's a good one. No, that's a really good one right there. Makes you wonder. Outside of Nancy Guthrie's home, folks, or not home, but I'm a little confused here. Tucson, KVOA. I'm used to saying the same thing. Out front of Nancy Guthrie's home, not in front of Nancy Guthrie's home. We started out there, and now we're here. I'm kind of seeing if there's any new information that is circulating. What we are probably doing is, continue to do is just talk to people, hear people's perspective. But if there is a psychic out there that wants to take me for a ride, reach out to me. If you're a local psychic in the area, let me know. I think I'm gonna get a McGriddle. I'm kind of hungry here. Let me see. Where are we at? Yeah, I'm gonna shoot over here and get something real quick because I have to put something in me because I only ate one time yesterday, and I'm gonna grab something real quick. Yeah, breakfast is almost closed. It's 9:30. It's only 9:30 here, so I don't want a thing. I want a McGriddle and a coffee. We need more energy. I don't know unless there's something else. What's better? People are like McGriddles are bad. Why did Brett Elizabeth Crawford, Annie's old hairdresser, say that she was loopy, seemed to be on prescription drugs, and stole from her? Starlight 17 dropping some. Brett Elizabeth Crawford, Annie's old hairdresser, says that she was loopy, seemed to be on prescription drugs, and stole from her. Whoa. What's going on there? McGriddles are kind of yummy. Kind of like McGriddles. I have to use the restroom anyway. But I want to keep the stream going. Anything going on? Where's everybody at? Any searches going down? Who's what, where, and why, and how? Juan texted me back. Remember Juan from yesterday? I think Juan had a very good conversation. He texted me back and he's like, please give my number to the FBI and authorities. Juan, please give my number to the FBI and authorities. He's the engineer. Email is in the top chat. Now we're going to grab something real quick over here and we'll come back. We'll come back to the location here. Need something in the stomach. So we're good for the day. All right. Come on in. McGriddle time.
At the stop sign, turn right onto Down Street.
Where is Nancy? Tucson, Arizona. Seems like everyone's just going about their life in Tucson, right? Don't see any flyers or anything in Tucson on Nancy at all. Matter of fact, I don't even see any flyers out here except one small location on River Road in Campbell.
At the next stop sign, turn left.
A McGriddle. I want a McGriddle.
In 300 feet, turn right onto West Leicester Street. Turn right onto West Leicester Street. Then at the next stop sign, you'll turn left.
Dude, he's driving around on a bike without a license plate. I don't know. Is that a... It looks like a dirt bike.
At the stop sign, turn left onto North Stone Avenue.
Stone Avenue. All right. Let's move. Bust the move. Oh, I can't go yet. Bust the move. Desert barricades. All right. We're on the move. We're going to McGriddle. We can't turn yet. There he goes. He's going. I can't turn yet. Too many cars. We'll do it like this. I got another idea. Another idea here.
Make a U-turn. next stop sign, turn left.
Turn left. I want to be real.
At the next stop sign, turn right.
Another
At the
theory.
stop sign, turn right onto East Leicester
What if
Street.
Luke's mom
At
was
the next
obsessed
stop
with
sign,
Savannah
you'll turn left.
and Nancy, snubbed her, and wouldn't be friends? Luke and his mom kidnapped Nancy. FBI looking for Nancy's DNA in their house during the raid. Domsey 303. Domsey, nice to see you as always. And you ask a lot of questions about Luke, I've noticed. You're open-minded to Luke and Luke's mom.
At the stop sign, turn left onto North 6th Avenue.
Some people in the chat feel like it's weird that Luke shaved and just has that same eyes, those same eyes as the perp. Same eyes as the perp. Pima County Sheriff's Office. Ba-ba-ba-ba. What happened to Nancy?
Go past this stop sign and take your next right onto East Grand Road. Turn right onto East Grand Road.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. It's up here somewhere. Yep, it's up here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Where's the Golden Arches? Hello, Golden Arches. Where are you? All right, it's at the other intersection. There it is. I see it. The Golden Arches. There it is, over there. The Golden Arches. Yeah, breakfast time. In the meantime, if you want to talk, let me know. Got something to say. Gigi wants to speak again. Gigi Escobar. All right, Gigi Escobar. We spoke the other day. You want to speak
600
again?
feet, make a U-turn.
I'll bring it back on. Gigi.
Make a U-turn.
Just got to grab this real quick, and then we'll get you back in the chat. And I'll talk to you while we drive back to the place. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. All right, Gigi. Gigi. It's a Gigi. Gigi.
After Black Rock Coffee Bar, turn right into the parking lot.
Black Rock Coffee Bar. Wasn't that interesting? Black Rock Coffee Bar. Ah. Here, I'll just park here real quick. I'll be right back. And then, oh, that Black Rock Coffee Bar. Never heard that. Is that like Black Rock? Black Rifle Coffee? Black Rock? All right, folks. Taylor investigates. Few-minute break. We'll be back, and we'll take some callers. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
My Instagram name is Taz and Ray. T-A-Z. Here, I'll put it in there. That's my Instagram. Black. Oh, he had to go get me something there. Great.
Great. We're gonna go to the drive-thru. Hey, we still got 18,000 people watching. Holy smokes, folks! All right,
I got 6.
Luke. All right, we're gonna go to the drive-thru. A lot of less people. We're gonna go to the drive-thru. Da-da-da-da-da. All right. Go in here. Da-da-da-da-da.
Seatbelt on.
Hi, thank you for choosing McDonald's. If you had a mobile code, please state it now.
I don't have a mobile. Hello. Good morning. Can I get a number 6, please, meal?
What would you like to drink?
I would like a coffee, please.
Any cream and sugar?
Yes, 2 creams, 2 sugars, please.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, that's all for you. So come out 2:10:86. Would you like to send up the change for the video?
Sure.
Thank you so much. You can 11.
All right. $11. $11. So it's wild. Some communities things are more than others. Now, where the heck did my wallet go? Uh-oh. Oh. Got it. All right. Hash browns, please. I don't really eat the hash brown. I just got the McGriddle and the coffee. If I'm extra hungry, I'll eat the hash brown. Get the app. It's cheaper, huh? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. All right.
I'm missing getting breakfast.
$11.
Okay, she's gonna bark again. I just heard the car
All
door.
right, we're gonna go back to KVOA. We'll take some calls. No, I'm good. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Thank you. What about that? Was easy, quick, convenient. Hey, quick and convenient. Thank you. Bye bye. Quick. Dude, that came in like less than 2 minutes from ordering. Like that was like boom, boom. No wait. All right, so I'll give them an A for that. How quick was it from the time we ordered they had the bag ready upon entering the door, the window. Somebody said it's not fresh.
Right onto East Grand Road.
Yeah, not fresh. Wow. Delicious. All right. We're going back to KVOA. We'll take some calls. We're keeping the feed going. We're talking about Nancy, talking about the latest. That's why we're here. I want to hear from all of you. Respectfully.
In a quarter mile, take a slight left toward North 6th Avenue.
Will do. Not bad. Check it out. Not bad. Not bad. Tastes fresh to me. It came up fresh. It's hot. It's hot. Good. Delicious. Some people are like, yuck, gross. It's pretty good. And then we'll head over to Nancy's in a bit. But nothing is going on there, I don't believe. Nothing. Where's Nancy Guthrie? Got all this area of Tucson, desert, outside of Tucson, nothing but remoteness between communities. 100 miles to the south.
Take a slight left toward North 6th Avenue. Then you'll take your first left onto North 6th Avenue.
All right, North 6th Avenue.
Turn left onto North 6th Avenue.
All right, North 6th Avenue. All right, North 6th Avenue.
In half a mile, turn right onto East Elm Street.
Elm Street. McDonald's wasn't far from the banner. Not far. Tucson.
Turn right onto East Elm Street.
East Elm Street. Wasn't far at all. Look at the helicopter. Another thing is there's tons of helicopters that keep coming around, but you don't see them on flight radar. Dude, that's a military one. For sure. We're looking for the sniffer. Super sniffer. All right, so this is the last difficult road to cross. And it's going to be difficult because there's so many cars coming from all angles. But we have an opening coming. Window of opportunity to cross. But it's closing quickly. Got it. Got it. Yes. We got it. Elm Street. A nightmare on Elm Street. I'm going to check in with James, the searcher, in a bit. See what his status is. What's he doing? Oh, look at that. Oh, my goodness. There's a doggy walking around by itself. There's a little dog walking around. Hello! Hello! Come here! Come here! Want some food? Oh, not a stray. All right. Gotcha. Does she want a hash brown? She might bite. Oh. Is that your dog? Oh, your neighbor's? I was gonna give her a hash brown. All right. Said she's not a stray. His neighbor's dog. I'm gonna give the doggy a hash brown. Probably thought I was taking the dog. He's like, that's the neighbor's dog. It's not a stray. I was gonna give the dog some hash browns. So it might bite. Oh, no. All right. Let's take a caller. We have a caller that we spoke to the other day. Gigi Escobar wants to talk. All right, Gigi. I enjoyed talking to you the other day, Sue. You can come back.
Good morning, JLR.
Gigi, good morning. Nice to hear from you again.
You too. And hi, chat. Listen, the guy that came there yesterday that was drunk, okay?
Uh-huh.
Now, we all know, and I'm sure that a lot of people in the chat done been drunk and had one of them episodes where you just running your mouth. When people are drunk, part of what they saying is the truth, all right? Because they say a drunk tongue is a true tongue. And the guy brought up a lawyer. He brought up, and he also said, when he brought up the lawyer, he said, I don't have trash lawyers like that, which tells me he does have lawyers that he needs, okay? He also told us his dad did 20 years in federal prison. I don't know, I couldn't hear why, but that's what he said. He also stated that the lawyer knows who did this because he robbed drug dealers. Listen to what the man said. Pay attention to what he said. He robs drug dealers. And he's talking about the cartel, right? He also mentioned that someone in their family owes money. Now, I'm not saying that it's cartel, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because cartel is going to let you know they did it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They don't do stuff and they just be like, oh, well, we just kidnapped the lady. We don't got no money, no nothing. That's not how they move. But I am saying that I don't think that the feds and the police are looking at low-level street crime. You understand what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Street-level crime. Because I'm going to tell you, where I come from up here up north, they take bodies over decades in the street. They do.
They do?
Oh, absolutely. They do. And sometimes they give the bodies back.
Where are you from?
I ain't gonna tell you that, JLR.
Gotcha.
I'm from where you were originally from.
Yeah, I see the area code, so yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know where you're from.
We're both PA baby. Let's put it that way. Okay.
I want to say, does it start with a C?
No.
You know what I'm talking about on I-95.
Yeah, but you're close. You're close. You're very close. Backyard. But anyways, I just want the viewers to pay attention to go back and listen to what that man said, because something in what he said is true. Now, he also stated that he has a vendetta against this man. Okay. Why? We don't know. He don't like the man. And mind you, this gentleman had his father drive him to this thing. So he was really looking for Brian Enton to get on the news with.
He said Brian Guthrie.
But he said Brian Guthrie because he's drunk. Okay? Yeah. But his dad drove him here to get on camera, man. What is going on here? Like, ain't nobody else seeing what just happened here?
It was bizarre.
That's crazy. Man, he drunk and his daddy drove him there so he could get on air somewhere and say what he needed to say. Something in what that man said is about. And we're going to see that later on. Now, also, the reward, it's telling that nobody's going to claim it. Nobody's ever going to claim that unless it's just a regular person like you happenstance across some information or something like that. Mm-hmm. But nobody's going to ever do it. Claim that money because I believe it has family ties. You claim the money, you're going to get caught. And we all know that. That's hog duty, that they're going to just drop the money, $1 million in cash to a library. Now, let me tell you this. Savannah's no damn dumb. By far. She's a very intelligent woman. She's a lawyer. Okay? I have a lawyer in my family. Very calculated people. She's never going to get on any news public thing and show that she has animosity toward her sister or her brother, even if she really does.
Really?
Okay. Absolutely not. She would never do that. Why would you let the public see that? She's a public figure.
Yeah.
She's not going to expose herself. And she's very smart. She let the police do what they had to do or was going to try to do. She let the feds do what they were trying to do. And then she did her own thing and put the money out there herself. You see, because she's being very calculated.
So you think that she could be looking at her own family member with a sly eye?
Yeah, she put that money up because she wants to see if somebody gonna come get that money. They not gonna just drop no $1 million at a McDonald's and then walk away. And then you really believe that? And they're not going to be watching? No way. Anybody who tries to claim that money, they.
Why is he buffering? Yeah, that's him buffering.
Gonna be on their behind, trust me. Okay, but I just want everybody to realize this: Savannah is no dummy. Okay, she worked for all these crime channels and stuff. She worked on cases. She sit in courtrooms. She knows the deal. Okay, so if it is how whatever she feels really in her heart about how this is going to play out, who she believes is involved or ain't involved, she's never going to expose that. She's always going to be camera ready and do what she's supposed to do and support her sister to the public. That's what she's going to do. But if you notice, she did a lawyer, man. These are thinkers. Lawyers are thinkers.
Interesting insight. You're
all the
pumped
people
on
in the
this.
chat,
You sound like you're
really-
like, yeah.
Yeah. I really want people to pay attention to what the drunk guy said for a minute.
So you think the
It's
drunk
just-
guy coming to scene is something to share some info without somebody?
Listen, he's hit something in what he said is true. I can't tell you what exactly, but something, he was very adamant. He's very drunk. When people are drunk, they start talking about or high on drugs. They start talking about things that they would never talk about. You know why? Because your filters get let down, your inhibitions get let down, and it just spills out. So what this man is saying, something in what he said is valid. And oh yeah, by the way, I like how Alex stood up as soon as he saw the smoke coming, and he was like, "Oh no, you ain't. I'm gonna handle this."
You like
He jumped
Alex?
right in there.
I'm ready to put Alex on the payroll.
I like how Alex, if you ever going somewhere that's tumultuous and you need somebody on your hip, Alex is the guy to take it. I mean, to be honest with you, because he wasn't letting that man do nothing, none of y'all out there. For real, I saw it. So, but
Yeah, if
guys,
Alex
give it
wasn't there,
a
this
shot.
guy could have got very violent towards us.
Man, Alex would have had that guy throw right across the street, bro. He'd have picked him up and tossed him right upside down his head.
I'm gonna drop
Yeah.
out.
So this guy, we know the Pima County Sheriff's Department is watching the channel because they came very quickly. Unless they got the call today, you got to go check this guy out. But maybe they put up, well, we're just concerned because he's drunk, but really want to question him.
He wasn't driving. You showed that.
Yeah,
And
maybe they
let's
just
face it,
really want to question him and like, who is this dude? How do you
You've been
know
out there
this?
for 30 days, and people have come up to your camera and said all kinds of stuff on camera. Their theories, the police ain't never came bolting around no corner on nothing, but they did with him. They did with him. You got to pay attention to what's happening in front of you. Pay attention to what people are saying. Pay attention to where they're moving. That drunk man came